You know, my mother used to work and my father would stay at home and take care of us. Well, he would stay at home is what he'd actually do. He was in charge of the meals. He used to say, you know that story about how Jesus fed all the people with fish? He said that was the first use of tuna helper, because tuna helper will spread fish quite a way. And that's the way he sort of did everything. He'd take any meal and he'd stretch it. If he only had enough hamburger meat for 2 people and there were 5 of us, he knew how to stretch it. What he would do is he'd make 2 burgers for himself and he'd tell the rest of us to get the hell out of the kitchen. He spread tuna helper around. We got mostly helper. He got more tuna. Sitting with Kareem and Abdullah and one of my buddies, Thor, and we're talking about who had it roughest as a kid. You know, I used to get beat up. My dad used to beat me up. We had plenty of money for beer and cigarettes, but there was never seemed to be enough money for regular milk. So we would have to drink powdered milk, which absolutely tastes horrible, especially when it's room temperature. If you ever put room temperature powdered milk on your cereal, and he says, I want you to go replace the powdered milk. He gave me, here's the money, and he gave me an empty box. The box was not powdered milk, it was flour. We were drinking flour, powdered flour milk. One of my t-shirts, I got a mustard stain on it. And my daddy, who was pretty creative, he said, we'll get a little paintbrush and we will take some mustard and we'll paint a little bunny. We'll paint a bunny right over this stain, and then what you got is a beautiful little yellow bunny on your shirt instead of a stain. You don't have to replace it because the mustard stain won't come out. But it doesn't look like a bunny, it just looks like a bigger stain. You can't really see the lines because it's all yellow. But you don't complain, you get your butt kicked. We're talking about a hard scrap life, and Abdul says, he says Americans don't even understand poverty. He says what I thought was poverty was like inconvenience. Instead of having your daddy whip your ass, I got soldiers breaking in the middle of the night, beating the crap out of my father, trying to go to school. School's 1 mile away. Takes 3 hours. I can't even go. They won't let us farm our land because they took our land away. This is Palestine, I guess, you probably imagine. And got to depend on them for food. And when they get mad at us, they cut off our food, so we starve. My brother's in prison. You think you had it rough? And I go, man, okay, well, let's all agree. Abdullah wins. He's got the shittiest childhood ever. And he says, childhood? This was like 3 weeks ago. That explains a little bit why Abdullah is such an asshole. So I actually have a lot more compassion for Abdullah. We're kind of growing on each other a little bit. From America, I used to think people had it really bad. Be like, they'd only have like 1 car. Like, you know, they'd only go to McDonald's like once every 2 days. And like instead of getting the Big Mac, and the supersized fries, they can never supersize, and they can only get like a hamburger instead of a cheeseburger. It's worse than that. I mean, apparently they're like having to like dig up a weed out of the ground and milk the muddy water out of it and drink that. Makes me want to not leave extra food on the plate. If you don't have the money to buy organic food and you like organic food, what you do is you buy the regular food, like regular chicken that's not organic. When your friends come over, they ask you if it's organic, you say, yes, it's organic. If they think they're getting organic, that's all that really matters. Cookies and crackers, you say these are organic snacks. Pull them out of the package before your guests come over, and you sit them out in the sun for about 45 minutes. They get a little dry and crunchy, and then they'll taste just like organic, just like with the vegetables. You know, grocery store or something. When they start running low organics, they'll find the really skimpy looking small carrots that are not organic. They'll let them sit out a little bit, let them get dry and small, then you charge twice as much. That's how organic works. Ethnic foods like a Pepsi from Mexico. And the secret to making Pepsi from Mexico, instead of paying extra money for the import, you buy a regular Pepsi and you sprinkle a little lead inside the Pepsi and it tastes just like Mexico Pepsi.